Hi everyone, my name is Rihanna from A Frugal Life, and today we're going to be talking about thrifting and how to get the best deals at the thrift stores in your area. So I have around 8 tips for you, and the first tip for you today is on home decor. I purchased the majority of my home decor items, if they're not a gift, at thrift stores, and I believe that the home decor items I do get are just as great a quality and look just as nice as items that you would buy for full price in regular department stores. So my 3 tips for home decor are to check quality, check brand, and of course buy it if you love it. So as an example, I have this art piece here. It is one of those 3-dimensional pieces with a frame, a quote on the front, and a picture inside. So I don't know if you can tell, but it looks really cool because it's 3-dimensional. The quote is in the front of the picture. This is pretty standard piece of generic art that's in a lot of stores nowadays. You can find it in Macy's, JCPenney's, any kind of home decor store. You can also find these a lot at Ross, which they are discounted at Ross. And I did get this for $1 at the thrift store. And at Ross, they run about $10, $6 to $10, depending on the size. Some of them are even more if they have more embellishments on them. And then in a regular department store, they can run around $20 or more, depending on the quote and the size and the picture, of course. So I did use my 3 tips on this. I checked quality. So on a framed picture like this, I would check the frame. I would check the glass because you can't really take this apart. So it has to be clean on the inside and out. And I wouldn't want the picture to be damaged in any way. And then I always do check the back. So this one has a good hanger on the back. I still left the price tag on because it doesn't matter. All of the connections to the back paper are complete, and the back paper is fully on there. It even has the brand sticker on here and the Made in China sticker. So this was in perfect condition, and I got it for $1. Well, that is something that I do with every single piece of decor I buy, whether it's a knick-knack or a framed piece, is to check the quality. The brand on this one doesn't really matter, but if it was going for a brand name figurine like Hummel or Hallmark, I would check the brand to make sure that it was the real brand. This one doesn't matter. And then I checked the quality, and because I love it and it was only $1, I bought it. And usually you see it in the background here, it goes on my shelf in the background. So my second tip for you is to ask for sale days. So I have a round of thrift stores that I go to in my area. Even though I have a small town, a tiny town that I live in, there are 3 to 4 thrift stores that I check every week, and each thrift store has their own sale days. So my favorite store has a sale every other week from Friday to Sunday, and the second week of the month they have a $5 bag sale for thrift store clothes, which is great if I'm buying clothes for myself or clothes to resale. You can buy as many grocery bags as you want, and each grocery bag stuffed to the brim is only $5. I know that because I check their sales and make sure that I know ahead of time, and they particularly have the same sale every month. And then the 4th Saturday of the month they have half price off the entire store. So usually I will go the week before, check for things that I really, really want, and then come back the next week and buy them at half price. So you should do this with any store you go to, including Goodwill, Salvation Army, any thrift store. If they don't have posted sale signs, ask the clerk. They usually have a sale coming up or a specific sale every month that they have. And check around the store, but come back and purchase your items at the sale time to get the best deals. So my third tip for you is to check the put-back racks. So especially at Goodwill or stores with a lot of clothing, they usually have a rack next to the place where you try on clothes, where people just throw things there. Employees put things there, they store things there. Sometimes there's a huge basket of things there. These are items you may not normally look at because they're tossed there or they're thrown over a hanger there, and they're not in the regular sections to find clothes in, but I guarantee you're going to find some goodies there because these are items that have already been picked over on the racks. People saw the brand, the quality, or the style and really liked it, then they tried it on and it didn't fit. So just because it doesn't fit them doesn't mean it's not going to fit you or it's not great for resale or for your kids, but it has been looked at by somebody and they did decide it was a great item. So I always check the put-back racks to find really great items, really great brands that are hidden there, because employees, especially at thrift stores, don't put things back as quickly as they might at a department store. So the next tip I have for you is Unclose. It's going to be check for brand, check for fit, check for quality, and don't give up on the piece. So I brought a piece to show you that I purchased at a thrift store. And I bought this at a $5 bag sale. So after I took everything out of the bag, this was about a nickel. So I'm gonna show you how it looks. So it is this really beautiful quilted piece from Coldwater Creek. Back up a little bit here. It is a jacket. Obviously, it would not fit me. It's a petite small. I bought it for resale. But if I wasn't going to resell it and it was the right price, the right size for somebody I love, I might give it as a gift as well. So I purchased this piece and then brought it to you just to show you exactly. This is a great piece to look at. Because it's a quilted piece, you have to really examine this in store, because if some of the quilted pieces were not as great as they are, every single seam is sewn on these. There are no loose threads. It is velvet with some really great tapestry materials, and it is in great shape. I checked the buttons. So make sure that there's no missing buttons on a piece like this. Wiggle them to make sure that they're tight, and if they're not tight and you will have to sew it, then make sure that you have the ability to sew those back on, because nobody wants to purchase anything or receive anything as a gift with missing buttons. I check the tags to make sure that the tags are intact, especially if I'm going to resell it or if I'm going to gift it. And then I check the brand. This is Coldwater Creek. And the reason I check the brand is because if it's already been worn and maybe washed or dry cleaned a lot of times, if it's a good quality brand like Coldwater Creek, this is like a department store brand, but it's a high quality, expensive department store brand. I already know that this has been probably washed and worn many, many times, but it still looks like it's in great shape because it's a great brand. If it was a cheap like Walmart or Target brand, I might not purchase it because one, it won't resell if it's a cheap brand like that, and two, if it's a cheap brand and once we do wash it, it might fall apart. So always check for quality. If you're gonna get something for a nickel, it's probably worth it anyways. But if you paid more for this in a different store, it could be a few dollars and it may not be worth it. So the other piece here on this piece is it's got all these great, incredible beads, and I did go through and make sure that all the beads are intact and all the beads are sewn on. So this is just an example of a very extensive check you might need to make. If this was just a t-shirt or a skirt or a pair of jeans, there would be obviously a lot less to check. But this one has a lot to check, and I did check it all before buying. So at a nickel, it was an incredible value, but if it was the regular price in the store, because it's such a pretty piece, I probably would have spent a few dollars on it anyways. So my last tip on clothes is don't give up on a piece. So if I purchased this and it was close to my size, but not exactly my size, this would be totally worth it for a nickel to pay a seamstress a few dollars, or to even do it myself to tailor it to the correct size. I've also taken dresses and cut the bottoms off and made shirts, skirts, and tops out of them. So there's a lot of things you can do if it has great quality material. Even if this was really torn up, I might turn this into a purse or a bag, since it's not, I didn't have to do that. But my advice is don't give up on something. If it's beautiful material, if it's something that you could turn into something else, thrift stores are the perfect place to get things at a cheap price that you can upcycle later. Tip number 5 is going to be shop off season, and this is a quick thing that everybody should know but people forget. So when you go thrift store shopping and you see bathing suits, you're going, I'm freezing, it's 40 degrees outside, I'm not purchasing a bathing suit. But this is actually the absolute perfect time to purchase a bathing suit in the middle of winter, because even at a thrift store, it's going to be discounted by a lot. So if you're purchasing off-season coats in summer, bathing suits in winter, follow all the same guidelines, check for quality, brand, and things like that, but also remember sizing. So if I'm an extra large or similar size, I'm probably extra large all year long because I'm an adult, then it's totally okay for me to purchase a coat in the summer, save it for the winter, and I probably get a huge discount on it. If it's a kid, obviously look to the forward sizing. You know your kid, you know how fast they grow, and you know when you purchase off season that you need to purchase a different size. But really, off season is something that people forget because they're not thinking in their mind that they can purchase a bathing suit in winter. You totally can. Keep a box in the closet of off-season clothing, purchase them in the wrong season, and then wear them in the right season, and you will save a ton of money. Number 6, and this is something that should be standard, but it is not standard, especially if you've hit your 6th thrift store for the day and you are super, super tired, irritated, and hangry. You may not be nice to employees, but you want to be nice to employees, especially if you visit there every week. I have employees that will put things aside for me. I have employees that will give me their employee discount. I have employees that will tell me about sales ahead of time before they're posted, and that's just because I'm super nice. I make friends with employees. I learned that from my mom. Make friends with the employees in the stores that you shop frequently, and you will get incredible deals, pre-knowledge, and things set aside for you, and other benefits and perks that you may not even think about, besides just having a nice interaction when you go shopping. Number 7 is electronics. Don't give up on the idea of buying electronics in stores, like thrift stores and discount stores. So my husband has something that he picks up all the time, and they are the TomTom GPS for cars. They used to be a lot of money. You used to have to pay $50 or even more for them. He buys older ones for $1, buys cords for them, and resells them. But at thrift stores, there are like a dime a dozen. And people, once you fix them up or clean them up or add the right cords to them, will purchase them on Facebook Marketplace and other places for a good amount of money. Or you could just gift them to your friends and family. That is just an example. You can buy all sorts of electronics, digital photo frames that come in boxes still, printers that just need ink, a lot of different things. But my advice is know your electronics. Don't buy something that you're not familiar with, because it may not be something that can be fixed. If you are familiar with it, like my husband knows electronics, he knows what he can buy and fix and what he cannot buy and fix. And he always, even if you can't see a plug available, asks an employee to plug them in. So never buy an electronic in a store, even if it's a blender or a waffle maker or something that says works on it. Sometimes employees will put works on it. Ask to plug it in. I've never had an employee refuse to take it in the back and take me in the back and show me that it works. I've never had an employee refuse to plug it in behind the counter. There's always a plug somewhere that they can plug it in, and at a thrift store, they will plug it in for you. So my last tip is on glassware and kitchenware. I buy a lot, if not most, of my glassware at thrift stores because it's something they sell very, very cheap. They get it donated all the time, and there are a few things you need to check for. Again, similar to everything else, quality and brand. And on glassware, you want to check for defects. So sometimes there's little things like chips or cracks you may not notice. You want to make sure that you check for those defects because things like chips and cracks can harbor germs. However, glassware, if it's defect-free, is super easy to sanitize in the dishwasher, and it's so worth it to buy it at a thrift store. So I have an example for you. I purchased this Corningware casserole set. This is just one of them, but I purchased the entire thing for $2 per, and they came with the matching lids. These are heavy. These are Corningware, which is a good brand. These are very cute. They have a design on the front that was in perfect condition. The heavy glass Pyrex lids came with all of them, and I got this at one of my favorite thrift stores. So one of the things that they did recommend, not the thrift store, but somebody who was there at the thrift store shopping for resale items, mentioned that these glass lids actually go for something on eBay. So I'm not going to sell them because I purchased them to go with the casserole dishes. But if you are looking for resale items, apparently these glass lids, because people lose them all the time and they don't want to get rid of their beautiful casserole dishes, go for a little bit on eBay. So I would check for that if you're looking for resale items. But again, check the glassware section because we have purchased things like casserole dishes, pie plates, beautiful servingware dishes, glasses for your cupboard. All sorts of glassware can be purchased at the thrift store. Follow those guidelines and ask for your sales day because you can purchase these a lot on the sale days for half off at some thrift stores. And it is a great deal to purchase your glassware, which a lot of people overlook at thrift stores. So that is it. That is our video for the day. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Most importantly, if you liked it, please hit the subscribe button down below so I know you're still with me and that you want to see more videos. Hit that notification bell if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out. And if you like, please go down to the link down below and join our Facebook group. Totally free, over 19,000 members right now, providing tips, tricks, and recipes for how to live a frugal life. Bye!